Fujifilm newest camera versus a Fujifilm old camera. Fujifilm X-T50 versus Fujifilm X-T30 Mark II. Let's compare these two cameras and let's see if X-T50 is deserving almost double the price than X-T30 Mark II. In Europe, the price it is way bigger than in the US market. So let's talk about this now. Hi there, Tudor Matescu here. I have here Fujifilm X-T50 and Fujifilm X-T30 Mark II. And I want to share with you my thoughts about these two cameras. What I like, what I don't like, and to discover if the price of X-T50 it is justified when we are looking especially at X-T30 Mark II. The first thing that I want to address is size and ergonomics. X-T50 is a little bit heavier than X-T30 Mark II, but not by much. I would say a touch 50 grams. I'm not looking online. I don't know how much it weighs X-T50 regarding specs. But overall in real world use, I'm not feeling that X-T50 is much heavier in a way that it will make me say, no, I don't want to take this camera with me. No. Regarding size and weight, they are very, very similar. Now, this is an advantage in the end for X-T50. And another advantage for X-T50 is that the grip of the camera, it is better.
I like it.
So better grip of the camera. This means X-T50 it is staying much better in hand with bigger Fujifilm lenses like the 80mm f1.4, like the 56mm f1.2, like the 33mm f1.4 WR lens. So it's staying much better in hand with the bigger lenses but also with the smaller lenses. So it's a huge advantage here compared to size and weight of X-T50 because of the grip but also because of the balancing of the camera with the lens. So the camera build, ergonomic, and how they've made it and they've designed it is very fine. I'm loving it more than X-T30 Mark II and I'm loving it more than X-T5. For me, it's a nice balanced camera. So the balancing of the camera really top notch. Also, X-T30 Mark II is not bad if you want the smallest possible and powerful interchangeable camera lens from Fujifilm. But overall, I would give the win to X-T50 here because how I've said it's more practical with any lens that you will choose. Now let's talk about the similarities of these two cameras. What they have in common? First, they have in common a flash. So both cameras have a flash. Both cameras have the same EVF and the same LCD, tilting LCD screen. But here, the things start to differentiate from one and another. Let's talk about the sensor. So X-T50 has a great 40 megapixel sensor that is rendering full frame like tonalities. This means a lot. This means you can get in such a small camera with a great lens and with the Fujifilm colors jaw-dropping image quality straight in the JPEG. And I'm not talking about the RAW file. Also in low light photography and in night photography, the X-T50 it is much better. Also because of the AF, but also because it has another advantage, and that advantage is the IBIS. So all these specs are working very nicely in X-T50. So you have better AF, IBIS and a 40 megapixel sensor that is much sharper and cleaner than the 26 megapixel old sensor. Of course, if you'll not pixel peep and especially in good light, you'll not be able to observe the differences. But the differences are there, how I've showed in my other videos and how other people showed and how other people are saying on the internet. So overall, I think now everybody is agreeing that the 40 megapixel sensor is better. If you judge just looking at the sheets and specs and noise to pixel ratio and all kinds of these technical details, you'll not be able to realize how good is the 40 megapixel sensor of the X-T50. Now another big differentiate factor, it is the film dial. Let's look at that film dial. So we are able to see now the film dial versus the drive dial. So overall, how this film dial is operating. I've said in my initial review that the film dial is very fun. And yes, the film dial is very fun and it makes more sense than the drive dial, especially with the firmware of X-T50. Yes, the drive dial may have sense on X-T30 Mark II, but the film dial on X-T50 has better sense than a drive dial. So overall, the drive dial is helping you have a nice cleaner operation with the Q slots. The Q slots aren't saving just Fujifilm film recipes. The Q slots are also saving power options, crop options, and all other stuff that you can set on the camera. And the film dial is helping you get rid of that clutter. It's helping you have a nice, cleaner workflow. So they did a great job by adding the film dial and get rid of the drive dial. And I will show you how they've implemented the drive dial on X-T50. So you'll be able to see that it's even easier, I would say, than using a drive dial. So here it is, the drive button. Very easy accessible. Just push it once and you are in the drive menu. If you want more frames per second, push the joystick once and you are done. If you want to go into the video menu, press once the drive button, and after that press the joystick up and you are in the video movie menu. So you are able to observe that it's very easy to access the important settings. Video menu or frames per second. So very, very easy. Now let's talk about the sound of the mechanical shutter. The sound of the mechanical shutter of X-T50, it is more silent than the sound of the mechanical shutter of X-T30. And more than that, you have the option to use first curtain electronical shutter on X-T50, and you don't have this option on X-T30 Mark II. This means you'll protect better the shutter, and more than that, you'll have a lower shutter sound in street photography. This is X-T30 Mark II with the mechanical shutter. This is X-T5 with the mechanical shutter. And now let's hear the first curtain electronical shutter, so one curtain mechanical shutter. Excellent. On the other side, the settings on the X-T50 regarding the electronical shutter, it is pretty loud compared to X-T30. So the artificial electronical shutter, I feel it is louder on X-T50, but you can cover up the speaker and it will not be as loud, but of course you can shoot without any sound. So overall, X-T50, yes, it's much quieter than X-T30. I would say 20% at least. With X-T30 Mark II, I had a problem in getting close and use the mechanical shutter from time to time. But with X-T50, I am confident that I will not disturb my subject when taking pictures, as I'm confident I will not do this also with X-T5. So the mechanical shutter sound, it's a step forward in the X-T50. Now, another differentiate factor is the manual focusing options that are on X-T50. X-T50, it's a little behind X-T30. Unfortunately, you have the red picking bug and you don't automatically exit from the punch-in zoom from the focus check, even with a dedicated lens like Voigtlander. So this is a problem. You must press the wheel to enter in focus check and press the wheel again to exit from the focus check, and after this, take the shot using the shutter button. And if you'll use the dedicated lens like Voigtlander, if you will automatically zoom because you've set the lens to act like this, you'll be forced to press the wheel. So this means I can't use my Voigtlander lens with focus check on the Fujifilm X-T50. I really don't understand why they've limited so much the manual focusing options on X-T50. They should have put the manual focusing options from X-T5. But overall, yes, X-T30 Mark II, it's better when it comes to manual focusing. Another important thing to address is the LCD touch to shoot. The LCD touch to shoot much better on X-T50, and also I feel it's much better than X-T5. So it's almost as responsive as a GX9 camera, not there yet, but the lag it's limited. So they've improved the touch to shoot options that are on X-T50, and yes, compared to X-T30 Mark II, much faster touch to shoot. Now let's look at the prices. Looking at the prices online, I'm able to see that on the US market, you pay around $500 more on X-T50. So X-T30 Mark II, it's around $900 and X-T50, it's around $1,400. So does it deserve to pay so much extra money for X-T50? If you want to upgrade because you know how good it's X-T5 and you want a small camera, yes, it's worth it. But if you are new to the Fujifilm system and if you want to save money for a lens and you are okay not having a 40 megapixel sensor, not having AFC, IAF with custom zones, that is doing a great job, Sony-like results for normal shooting, not blasting 100 frames per second, then I think you can choose X-T30 Mark II that has the best price regarding what you pay and what you get. Yes, I must agree that X-T30 Mark II has the best price regarding what you pay and what you get. You get a retro looking camera, you get a camera with all the Fujifilm recipes that are on X100V, with better AF speed and AF accuracy than X100V, with better build quality than X-T4, at least the black version, and with no bugs on X-T30 Mark II. I wasn't able to find bugs that will disturb me. On X-T50 I found already a bug, on X-T5 I found other bugs, and on X-T4 of course I found the flip screen bug. But on X-T30 Mark II, no bugs. So it's a very capable camera. In the end I think it matters on your budget. Either way you'll choose, you'll not go wrong. So if you want the best camera that is out there, that it will be bulletproof, you can go to the X-T50 right now. Or if you don't have the budget, go to X-T30 Mark II. Yes, I'm not saying that X-T30 Mark II is bulletproof, but I'm saying that X-T50 is bulletproof. Why I'm saying this? Because 40 megapixel sensor, great, crazy good IAF with AFC with custom zones, great portability, a great camera that you can take it with you everywhere. So yes, the camera is much better. I would say it's twice as better than X-T30, but it depends on the budget. So if you want to build in the Fujifilm system, it may be worth to get X-T30 Mark II, get the lenses, and after you have the lenses, sell X-T30 Mark II, and after this upgrade to X-T50 if you'll find a good offer. So either way you'll choose, it's a good way to start photography in the Fujifilm system. And what's more important is that you'll not feel any constraints with either of these two cameras. It's not like you lose something in the end. No, both cameras are able to produce outstanding image quality. Both cameras, with any Fujifilm lens or with any third-party lens that I reviewed on this channel. So both cameras are really, really great. And in the end, I think what matters is the budget that you have and the budget strategy that you have in the Fujifilm system. Do you want more lenses? Do you want to have first the lenses? Then get X-T30 Mark II. And I would advise here, if you want first the lenses, get X-T30 Mark II, because in Fujifilm you may want first the lenses. It's not like we are talking about a full frame camera with extraordinary AF that is working with any other budget lens that will rock your world in a different way. So it really depends from person to person. It's a more niche camera. It's a camera that can be a big cam for a wedding photographer that it's already using XH2 and XH2S for wedding photography, or even for a wedding photographer that is using the Sony system and he wants to have that film look. The X-T50 will help him or her get the look that they want easier because of the IAF that it's working great with custom zones. So they will not feel any constraint when they will switch from Sony to X-T50. So this is my conclusion. Choose any of these cameras depending on your budget and on your needs, and have no worries. Both cameras are capable, extraordinary cameras. So if you're liking content like this, please subscribe now to my channel, give it a like to this video, subscribe to my newsletter, leave me your comments, and please be sure to check the next video. Click here right now, the next video.